Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here with you. Okay, is it crazy? December 1st, you guys? Oh my word, where did the year go, right? Okay, so today I'm doing something new. Luise He and Barbara of 49 Dragonflies have created December prompts, and they are doing videos every day of the month, and they'll have some fun goodies and giveaways. So their links are in the description box below, so check out their channels. And I'm going to join them on a few of these prompts, and I'm doing today, and today's prompt is a playing card. This is before I've altered it. A playing card, just a regular playing card, and ribbon. Okay, so let's just kind of get into it, you guys. Before I do that, I just want to say hello. I love you guys, and I hope you're doing great. Yeah, leave me a message. Tell me how you are doing, what you're working on. Okay, let's get started. So it takes me a little while when, to get the brain ticking and what do I want to do. And I couldn't come up with anything, and for the longest time. But what I ended up doing, and I actually really quite like this, is this could be an ornament, or it could be a journal card. It could be whatever you want it to be. And if you'll turn over, I have included a small little glassine bag, and you can put a sweet little note. You can put money. Christmas, who doesn't like money? Okay. And I just thought this was super cute. So let's make one, probably just one of these, but I wanted to show you the others. Well, I'm going to show you. Go ahead and laugh at me, because I laugh at me too. Just one sec. I got a bit of a cough. Tickle in my throat that won't go away. So I'm going to show you my process, how I came up with what I finally came up with. At first I was thinking, well, I'm going to just weave some ribbons, and I'm going to put that somehow on a card. And so, don't laugh. I covered with an image over my card, and I was going to do something clever here, I don't know. But by the time I got this woven with these fabrics, I said, no. No, this can die. It can, I don't know what, but no. And then I looked on Pinterest, and I thought, okay, what have they got going over here? And I saw someone had, done the ribbon as a simple tree, right? But I Mod Podged I didn't use Mod Podge, but I glued a piece of the napkin to that, and then I glued these. And as I look at that, I think it's very busy, and I don't like it. And so I kept thinking, and this is what I came up with finally, was to decorate, do the ribbon through, do a hole punch, and do the ribbon through both sides. And so I liked that better. And then this morning, what I came up with was go a little step further and grunge up the card, which is what I've done here. Grunge it up, and then add a little more element to it, and then of course I like this idea of having a note. You can write a fun letter to somebody. You can put money in there, whatever you want to do. This would be cute in a journal, you know, but slip it in a pocket or something. And then this is the most recent one that I made, and I absolutely am loving these old-fashioned Santas. And this little old-fashioned girl is a little sweet. She does a little sweetheart herself. So this is what we're going to make. And these were a digital set of chapter 1 papers. Just look for Christmas stamps. And I think, yeah, these are Christmas stamps. And they have a bunch of these old-fashioned Santa Clauses that I just love. So you can give that a go if you want to check into that. Okay, so so you're going to need a card, and this is just a standard 2.5 by 3.5 inch card. It can be turned into an ATC very easily. So you're going to need that. You're going to need some ribbon, skinny ribbon. Well, not. This is probably 3/8 inch ribbon here. You don't want much wider than that, and it needs to be quite pliable. You don't want heavy ribbon because it will be harder to make your project. And in fact, I started to do this, and this was maybe even just a little bit too heavy because of the glitter in it. But this worked really nicely. This is what I used for this. And don't ask me where I got my ribbons. Most of them, I probably buy them when they're on sale at Hobby Lobby. Or pick it up at a garage sale or something of that nature. Okay, so you're going to need that. You're going to need a music sheet, book pages, something that you can use here as a background, and then your image that you're going to put on top. I also, and I do actually carry these in my Etsy shop, Ronda without an H on Etsy, but I carry these. They're 2 inches by, I think, 3 anyway, I cut off about this much of it to be able to put it on the back of the card, and I think that's fun. So some images if you want on the front and the back. And you can make little pockets too. You don't have to buy them, but I love the glassine. I love the lightness of it. And, you know, anything glassine is like, oh, yay. Okay, a little bit of sandpaper, your scissors and, you know, glues and the regular kinds of stuff that you might use. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start out with distressing this card. And let me see here. I have a Tim Holtz distressor, but you can also use the side, you know, you can get your scissors and you can do the same thing with your scissors. So what I do is I start out and I distress. And actually, I actually started out on this by sanding it. I forgot. I did the sanding first, and then I did the distressing. But we're just gonna keep on going here. We'll just do this. Okay, so I'm not going to finish that because I have a finished one to work with, but this is just to show you the process. And then with your little bit of sandpaper, you are going to just give it a rub. Do one direction, and then turn it and do the other direction. Okay? And we've kind of made a mess here. Let's clean that off. And then I spritzed it with coffee dye, with coffee. And you can see what that does. And I love this look. I think that ages it really well. I didn't do the back because that's going to be covered up with pockets and everything. And what we may even want to consider doing, as I'm looking at this, there's not much that's showing of that wonderful distressed. So I wonder, should we just try doing just the vintage Santa? That might be kind of cool, actually. Let's try one this way, and you'll be able to see by what I'm doing, you know, what you like. And that way you can decide which way you want to go. And obviously, if you don't want to distress and make it antique-y or vintagey, then you don't have to. This is just fun. This would make a fun part of a gift to give to kids and grandkids. Those of us that are in the grandkiddo phase. It's wonderful, but the kiddos, they grow up. They grow up. But then at some point, then maybe there'll be some great grandbabies coming along. No, I'm not, what's the word for it? I'm not voting for that, you know, at this point. They can take their time, for sure. But, yeah. I absolutely would not have the energy to, you know, take care of babies at this stage in my life. I like the looks of that. That looks really good. So I just distressed all around there, you know, with some Tim Holtz, photo, what is it? Vintage photo. But whatever, you know, obviously whatever is working for you. Let's bring that up just a bit so we're a little bit closer as we're working on this. Okay. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that, you guys. I think we might go ahead and skip that one. And what we could do, because I also had this on one, as you can see, I'm just like, once I start creating and, you know, like, well, oh, what about this? Oh, well, what about that? Oh, well, this could be fun. Ah! Sometimes it's just like, oh, gosh, Rhonda, turn your brain off. Take a chill pill. Go watch a movie. Oh. You know what? I think that's the look we'll go for on this one. I really like that. But, first of all, oh, and you need a paper punch, you guys. This is, I think this is an 1/8 inch paper punch. I don't know if you can tell by if you can see that very good. Let me show you the difference between this and a regular, I think this is a regular 1/4 inch, as you can see. It's hard to see, isn't it? Anyway, this is about half that size. And you're going to punch holes around these sides. Now to do that, what I've given myself is kind of a little cheat thing going on here, and that's just so that it makes it easier for me, so that I'm not, as I was punching holes on these, if you were to look close at this first one that I punched holes, they're kind of all over the place a little bit. So what I'm doing, I have the 3.5 inches here, and I am actually kind of going to do a sort of splitting it so it looks like there's a little gap on either side, and 1.5 inches would be the middle of 3 from this red to this red is about 3 inches. And so I have just positioned my ruler so that reflects that. So there's the center, and then I want, how many did I do? I've got 1, 2, 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we'll do 1 in the center, so 1.5. Okay, that doesn't seem to be, okay. 1.5. And then 1.5 be 3/4. And then 3/4. So I'm making little, you know, putting little dots so that I keep it clear. And so it's easier for me to go ahead and punch. And I don't mark the corners because I put my punch in each of these corners. And now the first one that I did, I punched it from the right side. And then I turned it over and I thought, well, that was stupid because I could easily have punched it from the back side and I have lines to follow. So the others I've done that way and that's worked out really well. Okay, and those have how many? Looks like they just have 2. So the center, I don't want the center, so I'm going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll turn it around. So do you have, 1, 2, 3, do you have big plans, you guys? We got to get going on our Christmas giving and whatnot. Alrighty. So here we go. Now I've got myself a nice template. So I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to try to hurry this process. And I am trying to keep it kind of neat and just punch out. I am excited. We have one of our sons who is going to come visit. He lives in Texas. And he's still single. he's very nice. He's really a good guy. But he doesn't like to go out to look for women. he doesn't, you know, he's pretty, he has a cat. Mitten, and she's my grandkitty. We love her. But I wouldn't mind if he decided that he wanted to. He dates off and on, but he hasn't been serious about a gal for a long time. Okay. I hope I'm making this so you'll be able to see this. It's kind of hard on... Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, that's awkward. So sorry, you guys. I apologize for not making that easier. But as you can see, by doing the back side, then when I go to the front, you know, then when I start to weave my ribbons, it will work nicely. You have to be a little careful. And see, this one I even got just a smidgen close because it could rip. tear out if you get your hole too close to the edge. And that's another advantage of having them like this, because you do get to see a little more of that, and you can put them in a little bit further if you want to. Okay, so next thing we do, let's get a ruler out and you measure your ribbon. I just took this off a spool, and what I have been using for mine is approximately 22 inches. Okay, where's my fabric scissors? And maybe a little more. And you need 2 of those for each one, because you weave from both sides of the card. Okay? And you can also use, if you want, a needle with a wide eye. This has a pretty wide eye that you can thread this through, and then we will start. So doesn't matter which way, because at the beginning, the card is directional. It goes both ways. So we are just weaving this in and out around the card. And this is, how little ones, they have these cards that they can lace, with yarn and that kind of thing. This is kind of like that, really. It's our adult version of the lace card, perhaps. And you can make it as careful or as not careful, however you want to do it. I have a tendency to be, drives me nuts, drives my family nuts. So careful about some things that it's just like, just do it already. So what we're doing, we're just weaving this ribbon, and this, see, it pulled apart. So now what I'm going to do, this isn't going to fix it per se, but it is going to make it so that I can pull this in a little more. So what I'll do is I will just, I'll just pull it in. Like there it goes. Well, actually, that's probably a good thing that this did happen, so you can see how I'm working with it. And I just kind of hold it down. And I'll just keep it going. Yeah. So it's not, it's not like everything is doomed, but it just makes it a little trickier. Just a little trickier, but it's still doable. So be sure when you do your hole punches, guys, make sure that you go in enough so that you won't have that issue. That would be, this is probably the hardest thing of the whole, and maybe I never passed on lacing those cards when I was little. Maybe that's why it's going to be a challenge for me now. Oh, golly. So this is fun. This is it definitely was a challenge. Luise came up with the prompts, and, and she and Barbara, they work together on so many things, and they have such a fun time and great friends. And they both live in Austria, which is super cool. And I love the way that we can, like, they're both from Austria, and here I'm doing this along with these gals that don't even live close, and it's so much fun. Okay, see what we've got going here now? So I try to keep the ends kind of about the same. So now we're going to go ahead and we will do back side. And we're going to do it exactly the same way. There is a little bit more of a challenge, I will tell you that, when you're doing the back, because you already have ribbon here. And that's why if you have a little bit heavier ribbon, if you're very, very careful and you can manage to avoid going through previous ribbon that is already in place, then it will be easier for you to work with. Okay, let's see, is that about, I want this tail to be about the same as those tails. And you can always, if you need to, you can always lengthen or shorten after you've got yourself going. Okay. I might have to get my... You just have to be a little careful. But it's really, this is a fun... I would never, ever have come up with this had I, not been trying to do this prompt. So this was good. This was fun to challenge myself. So, what is on your agenda this week? What have you got going, my friends? Have you already got your month calendared to the hilt to where you're like, ah? Or are you able to find some time for fun things that you enjoy doing? And I hope that several of you joined me in November for the November Play 2021. I might do that every year if that, it certainly helped me to get some things prepared for December so that I could be free to play in these other ways. I don't know how easy that is for you guys to see this, but I did want to thread the whole thing together with you. I wanted to have you see clearly what I'm doing, at least, as clearly as can be when you're not standing right beside me watching. Oh, how I wish you were. Wouldn't that be so much fun, you guys? You guys can grab a coffee or whatever. I will grab some hot chocolate. 'Tis the season for the fun. I love cocos in different flavors. Now this is where it pulled out, okay? So I'm going to kind of pop that back in, right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to, actually there's just a matter of pulling and tucking on this one again because of what I had done previously. Okay, so just don't do this. Don't do this, guys. As you can see, me struggling here, it's so much easier if you do it the right way and put the holes in, the right place the first time. It'll go so much faster for you. I promise. Okay. Okay. I think that looks better. And then we will come down here. Oh my goodness. Did everybody have a nice Thanksgiving? I would love to hear. If you went somewhere or if you got together with friends or family, what's your favorite food to eat? you know, just kind of some fun things. What are your traditions? So, okie dokie. I am going to have to leave here shortly. I have an eye appointment. I had my eyeglasses. I got a new pair of eyeglasses earlier this year, and the reality is I'm finding myself taking my glasses off to do any work up close, and I'm thinking something must be wrong for it to be that way. And so going to the eye doctor to have see if my glasses were just not, they just need adjusting, the frames or something. Anyway, okay, so I've got that done. And I've got that done. So we have successfully covered our card. And we're just going to tie this in a bow. And then we're almost done. We're almost done, guys. Okay, I'm going to shut the video off and I will come back as soon as I get back from the eye doctor. Okie dokie. Well, I am back almost immediately because my husband misread the time that we were supposed to leave. So anyway, so I'm tying a bow, guys. Tying a bow. And then we'll tie another little... I am not great at bow tying. I will say that. So I'm doing kind of a disclaimer here that if you want really fancy bow tying, then don't watch me. Don't watch me do it because I'm not. But I will clean this up a little bit. And we will kind of do that, and we will do that. And there we go. There we go. Yay! Okay. So we are ready to add the cheesecloth. And I'm just going to glue, this is art glitter glue that I am putting on here. Just a bunch. And we'll just kind of squeeze that in here nicely. Just, I love cheesecloth too, because it looks so vintage and yet it's super fun. Now, I think what I want to do is I want to raise that up so it's not completely flat on the cheesecloth. And so I'm going to put some of this double-sided, well, foam tape on here. And this will give it a rise. Okay, so we just stick that on the back. We'll do that in 4 places, and then we'll do one in the center so that it doesn't get smashed, caved in the middle, you know. Okay. So I think these would also make, you guys, these would make really cute ornaments. To put on your tree. I'm probably putting way too much of this on there. But as you can see, it goes pretty well. And then let's just center it kind of so it covers that center on the card itself. Look how cute that is. Oh, I think that's adorable. I love that. Isn't that sweet? And it came together so fast. Okay, now we just have to add a glassine bag on the back. And these are the bags that I carry. And what are they? 3 3/4. Oh, I don't know if it includes the flap. Might be 3 inches. Depends on how they say that or not. But I'm going to, let's see, let's measure. Let's go 2.5, and we will cut that extra off. And then what I'm going to do is, you've seen this, I'm sure you have, but I'm going to show you where you fold a piece of paper. Glassine is very, very thin, and oftentimes if you are trying to punch a hole or something in it, it won't work well. But if you put a piece of paper folded over, then it will do nicely. Okay, so this will go on the back here, but let's go ahead and put an image on the back. I think that I'm just going to do another Santa, but I'm going to do one that maybe is a little bit smaller. And this, I have no doubt that you have a lot of images and digitals, or just, you know, scrapbooking papers or whatever it might be. And Pinterest has a lot of, you know, fun free images that you can get as well, to where you can just have all kinds of cute, fun things to do. Oh, we're off camera, so sorry. Now, one thing that I would say is, for those of you that are not really into Christmas, that's fine. That's totally fine. You could do this for another holiday, or for just whatever event you want to do it for a birthday for someone. You know, just make it fun. It could be a themed, something that you're doing that, you know, maybe you're working on a bird journal or something of that nature. Whatever it might be that way, that's cool. So I don't want you to think that if you're not really into Christmas that you can't do any of these things. That's so not true. Just do what, you know, what inspires you. Make it fun and make it work. And I am inking. Now, the other 2 bags that I did, that I showed you the backs of, where are they? I coffee dyed this. But because I didn't want to take the time to go over and do that and take time out from you guys where you couldn't see what I'm doing, I decided to go ahead and put the ink on that to make that work. Okay, so just a sec. Trying to keep myself a little bit organized here. All right, so now you will just glue this onto, where's my ink, or where's my glue? Where's my glue? My art glitter glue, where did you go? Here you are, here you are. So what I don't do is go to the edge and glue. The reason I don't do that is it makes for a much tighter pocket harder to slip things in. So I leave at least 1/4 of an inch on each side. But then I do try to glue the rest of it nicely. And you can also use double-sided tape easily for this as well. So on this one, I am bringing that pocket clear down. Let's see. Because I want to have room, and I'm lifting up the ribbon that might, okay. I want to have room for a piece of paper or for money or whatever it might be, a card, something to go in here and still not poke up above the ribbon. So this is what I've been using for mine recently. Look at this, you guys. I found this in a junk store. Memorandum book, Ringmaster. This tiny little, and with that old wonderful that they used to do all of these with. And look at this. Look at how, and this is already aged beautifully. And I love to keep this on. Now what I did with the first one was I cut this off so that it would fit, you know, it's just too tall. But on subsequent ones that I've been doing, I've just been folding it over, and then putting it in that way so you can write a note. I mean, you can do anything that you want. I wanted to keep this vintage, of course. And then you just tuck it in. Just like that, guys. Is that some fun? All right. That is it for day 1 of Dephemerember. Dephemerember. I think it's a combination of, it's December Ephemera. December, yeah. And like I said, I'll have the links to both of those gals' videos so that you can check out their channels. And if you are new, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel as well. I love you guys. It's been so fun to be here with you today. So have a great rest of the day, and until next video, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye now.